You know, this image of everyone walking in and looking at Arnie just on the bed, barely alive, is probably the only way you can properly sum up the emotions that was episode 18 of season 2 of Vinland Saga. So we knew everyone was kind of screwed. Not only even if you got away from punishment, I mean, King Canute was coming, the farm was screwed, right? And to see, this is it's such brilliant directing because the uncertainty of what Ketil would do to his favorite slave who tried to escape, not only that, but pregnant with seemingly the master's son or daughter, where do you go? And you see him get off the ship and he's emotionally unstable. And right away you knew it was not going to be pleasant. But even then, I wasn't prepared for how broken he was. And as soon as you see his dried up wench of a wife just immediately expose what she did, I mean, you knew there was no saving whatever was about to occur. And to see him go into the stable, there's no conversation initially, and just see him beat her senseless. They didn't need to go as hard as they did with the animation, but every time he hit our poor girl, to see her flinch and just tense up, she would be coughing and gasping for air, and to see a man no longer feel like the kind of kind master he initially was appearing to be. We rewind a handful of episodes back, he didn't want to hit that kid because that's not who he wanted to be. But knowing that everything was being ripped away from him and the one person he was seeking comfort was going to abandon him, he became the most unhinged, deranged piece of garbage. And to see her lifeless, I mean, I doubt she survives this, and this was hands down the hardest to watch scene of Vinland Saga today. Now, full live reaction to my full uncut thoughts, if you do want to see them, is available on my Patreon. I can't get over what they did this episode. There's so much amazing content, but I think arguably and rightfully so, people will talk about the beating scene the most, because to really consider the fact that he wasn't someone who wanted to do it initially to a kid who stole from him, to see him so broken knowing that Canute's about to take everything. They don't have the forces, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the necessary equipment to repair their walls. To come home so broken, just wanting to go back to what he usually does, get comfort in his favorite sex slave, to then see him completely unhinged. I honestly thought it was going to be all of them screwed, but the fact that, even after being told that there was a couple of slaves who helped her, the one that he put all his anger and resentment in was her. And the fact that he's like, go ahead, Leaf. You want to take Thorfinn? You want to take Einar? I don't give a shit. Just get rid of them, but you will not take my slave. She's my possession. The fact that his right-hand man, literally, who was once a former slave who bought his freedom, literally looks at Leif and says, please, for the love of God, take her with you and save these slaves. And the fact that they come home to this mess and there's no helping her, the fact that he was so pissed, he was so out of his mind, that in a normal moment, he would have believed her because he trusted in her that, yeah, if you told him that this is your kid, he would believe you. But the fact that he comes home and is told that she tried to run away with her former lover, there's no way he would believe that's his kid. And the fact that I'm surprised he didn't just immediately go for the stomach after that, it was pain. The animation went in hard. The initial strike, the fact that rather than just having him beat her senseless immediately, no, she was just there coughing, gasping for air, and it was disturbing to watch. The fact that even prior to that moment, you have the guard who's watching over her talking about how he would have all of his men take advantage of her, and just the fact that that would be her punishment for having some of these men die. I love how if you rewind, Snake literally says, his men are garbage personally. They are pieces of garbage. We all come from horrible walks of life. And there's no reason to believe otherwise. Everything about them seems like they are hardened, horrible criminals. But the reason Snake was so proud is that, they are his men and he has a code. And I think when he stops the master from continuously beating her, I think this is the moment that sums up Snake so well. He is a man who follows the rules, but he does care for people. He clearly has cared for Arnie. He's clearly cared for Thorfinn, Einar, and he cares for the master Ketil. However, at the end of the day, he recognizes that it's highly unlikely this is actually what he wants to do, If it is, he has the right because that's how the system works, but he literally stops her from getting killed in that moment. Though seeing her on the bed at the end, it's hard to say if letting her live is the right option because now it seems like she's gonna die a painful death. Initially, when they walked into that bedroom, I was totally convinced she hung herself. I thought like she got news that the baby didn't make it and they were just watching her dangling body. And then to see her bandaged up like that, it was pain. It really was. The fact that you have King Canute coming to shore soon, literally, you know, the story of this man being this proud warrior, we know is complete BS. He made it up to seem powerful. But based on the end of the episode, he pretty much is at that point now. He's 100% ready to pick up a blade. And if he doesn't get himself killed in this battle, I will be shocked. But I think it's all but guaranteed King Canute will have that farm. The farm will have a change in leadership. And at the very least, I mean, yeah, Einar and Thorfinn are seemingly free, but goddamn, this was not the reunion between Leif and Thorfinn I was expecting. And this was not a pleasant episode. It was pure pain. And I think the buildup of really showing him as in the grand picture of what a slave owner can be in this time period was pretty much the best Thorfinn and Einar would be able to ask for. And to really get that connection to then to build into this to really show what he can be, push come to shove. The man is beyond help right now. And honestly, if she makes it, I just don't see how. I really don't. If she does, what the hell would she do? Would she run away? She can't. Like, she tried that once and look at what happened. This is pure heartbreak. The fact that the carrot on the stick was dangled. Hey, just take these 3 slaves and get the hell out of here. Please, for the love of God, save them. And then look at what happened. It's just complete heartbreak. Like, I mean, pretty quickly, I figured she would have a very bad punishment, but I never expected it to go in as hard as it did. But I think that's what's brilliant about, you know, a son tossing his father from a wine barrel, just completely has no care or compassion, but we just see how broken he is. The fact that the person to break the ice about what happened with them while he was gone was the wife that, you know, clearly is not happy that he took a sex slave for himself and basically was like, hey, you know, clearly he goes for compassion and comfort to her rather than his actual wife. Of course, she would say it so bluntly and make matters so much worse. Not to say there would have been another outcome, but had someone else maybe he trusts more talk to him about this first, it's entirely possible it wouldn't have been as bad, or maybe someone like Snake would have been able to cool him down before he went there. But now there's just no recovering from this. And seriously, the little hope they might have had with maybe Thorfinn and Einar being able to fight off the forces, I mean, they lost 5 men of Snakes recently, that's pretty much up in smoke now. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they all turn tail and run and leave the farm to fend off for themselves, but at the same time, this kind of has become their home, so maybe they do need to fight. I really don't know, but this was the hardest scene to watch for sure. Even when you knew what was coming, it got progressively worse, and by the time it was over, it's really hard to say her being spared there is the better outcome than being killed in the moment, because seriously, that did not look pleasant. Let me know what you're thinking though down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell of course so you can get notified when I upload on the channel, and like I mentioned, we do have a full live reaction available on my Patreon if you're interested, where I also give out video shoutouts like a few are about to get here. So today we have Nolan Palmer, Lucas Bagnifius, and Anthony Boughton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.